In this video, we're going to see the aftermath of an attempted diff pin exit. This will be good. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel, and sorry I haven't posted a lot lately. It's just nothing is going fast, so I just don't have any content to make. I got ideas and everything's coming, and next year's going to be really exciting, but yeah, over the winter probably not going to be a lot, few and far between, but come spring we'll start doing some really cool stuff, and we'll be doing some videos and stuff over the winter too. But in this one we're going to kind of look at this here transmission that threw a diff pin, and it's not mine. I've never had this issue happen to me. I've heard about it, and I've heard how bad it can be, and this is probably one of the better outcomes from a diff pin exit. But a little bit of a story. So I was at one of our weekly car meets here in town, and someone came up to me and asked me if I could help out their buddy who had just bought an S-Series and thought the transmission was leaking, but turns out the transmission was blown. So I gave him my number, and yep, buddy called me a few days later. We hashed it all out, and we worked it all out. I ended up selling a transmission to him and helping him install it, and he's all happy. So, but I got to keep his old one. So now we're going to see what happens when a diff pin tries to go outside. Alright, so buddy there bought the car thinking that the diff seal was leaking, or the axle seals were leaking, because it was showing transmission fluid dripping from around here and around here when it was sitting in the car. So when he bought the car for $600, looked underneath it, was like, oh, okay, just a couple shaft seals. He's a tech at a dealership, so he thought he'd just throw it on the lift, jam in a couple of shaft seals, and be on his way with a car for $600 perfectly fine. However, under further inspection and getting it on the lift, he saw that. And there's the hole. And there's the diff pin. Now, he actually drove the car for a bit like this and just kept topping up the fluid. So the diff pin didn't really slide out again, but it appears as though it punched out there, slid around there, slid around to about there, and then buddy got out of it, and then the thing went back home. And then Joe was really nice to it, so it never slid back out. And that's actually kind of weird that it just slid there. So, but it is there. And I just pushed it even further in to the diff. However, transmission spins just nice. But you can definitely see evidence on that pin as to where it went through the case. So, oh, she just slid back out again. Neat. But other than that, the transmission seems perfectly spinning fine. It sounds great. So I'm actually curious to see how much internal damage there is, or if the only thing that is wrecked is the case. I want to see. So I'm gonna set you guys up in the GoPro camera and the regular camera over there. We're gonna tear this thing apart, and we're gonna see exactly what happened in there. Pile of metal in there. So, I don't know. There is more damage in this thing than I thought. Alright, so I clearly got it all apart, as you just saw, and I think I was wrong. I was wrong on the direction. I think it came out here, swung around this way, clipped through here, and then ended where I thought it punched out, and then that pushed it back in. But like, look at this fluid. It is like a speckled red paint. The amount of metal on that magnet, like, wow. Like, I'm sure if you clean up the gear sets and everything, these might be okay. The synchros look okay. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. Anyway, I don't have any intention well, it'd be nice to have the spare parts, but either way. So, that's the case. Now, let's have a look at that, a little closer look at this differential. There we go. Alright, guys. So, you can see a bit of roll pin sticking up on this side. And we're kind of the same thing on this side. So, let's push this out and see if there's a chunk of roll pin inside of it or not. If I could. I can't seem to get that pin out of here. Okay. Maybe that's why it just... neat. So it blew out the diff pin, but it could only push it that far. So none of the gears inside came out. They always kept spinning. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of roll pin in that pin. So the roll pins break when you launch the car one too many times. And we know that the previous owner that this happened to, we know he was launching the car occasionally. Right? He was not exactly nice to this car. We know it. He knows it. So, not a big deal. So, the roll pins break. But then again, a shorter roll pin like I was doing would be less likely to break because it's shorter. And the pin has nowhere to go. So this broke, but when it broke, it shoved it out. So, there we are. There's some broken pin there. Some broken pin in there. And then that there. So that's what happens when you launch a factory Saturn open diff 1.2 many times. So, this could have been a lot worse. I mean, that pin could have exited completely, but apparently it wants to stay sort of stuck in the diff, which means he got pretty lucky. Other than it did smash a big hole in the case there, but, okay, so that'll be the end of this video there, guys. Well, we'll see you in the next one when we're probably doing something with a motor, I think. I don't know. Either way, we'll see you next time. Bye.